Minister, I've raised the issue of the residents of St Helens Court in Dunleary, a multi-unit apartment complex, actually directly across my office, this apartment complex was bought out by vulture funds a number of years ago. First vulture fund made 2 attempts to mass evict on the grounds of sale or refurbishment or various other ruses. Then they flipped it, because we fought them, the PRTB, to another vulture fund who's made 2 successive attempts to mass evict. They've now succeeded. The tenants are overholding and they're faced with homelessness unless there's an intervention. So I just want to know what can be done.
Deputy, look, thanks for raising this matter again, and it is a serious one, and I'm familiar with it personally because you've raised it a number of times, to be fair. Just to move away from the standard answer on this and to give you the facts as it is, like, I've engaged with Dunleary Rathdown, my department has as well, to make every effort to ensure that those dwellings in St Helens Court referred to be secured for social housing. We've had approved housing bodies, have engaged directly as well on several occasions with the owners' representatives with a view to buying and acquiring the dwellings at the location for social housing. And the problem is, in both instances, both through DLR and approved housing bodies, that the owner is not willing to sell the units. I've said it would provide the finance to do so. The council has also engaged with the owner with the view to leasing, even though some people want to cancel leasing tomorrow morning. We have a pipeline of leasing for real families, about 3,400 families who are going to be housed. There are families here, real people that you're advocating for, to be fair, and advocating very strongly. We've also looked at that, but again the owner has decided not to proceed. Now, in foot of this, I will personally engage again with Dunleary Rathdown. You know, we do as much as we can to try to secure this, Richard, to be honest with you. The owner's not willing to sell, well then there may be other options that can be looked at, which I don't want. But I'm happy to work with you, continue to work with you. I have, you know, engaged, and the department engaged directly with Dunleary Rathdown on St Helens Court, and I would be absolutely in favour of securing those properties as social housing on a permanent basis, i.e. that we buy them. But we need the owner to be willing to engage to sell. Sinead Fibe.
Minister, first of all, I appreciate that you have engaged and that there has been efforts made, right? But here's the irony. This vulture fund went into the RTB, the Residential Tenancies Board, when the tenants said, we think the claim that we're going to sell is a ruse because they own 20 apartments, and they said, oh, we're only selling the ones where there are tenants. The ones that have been sitting empty, where they managed to drive the other tenants out, well, we're not selling them, right? Totally not plausible, okay? Totally not plausible. So they evict tenants on the grounds of sale, and then they tell the council, we're not selling. It's a joke, right? Now, we all know what they're up to. They just want to drive up the value of the property and the rents that they can charge. And the council are saying, well, we can't buy the ones that are supposedly for sale because there's tenants in them, and we don't buy apartments with sitting tenants. We can only buy the empty ones.
Thank you, Deputy.
That means they'll be homeless unless we change that view.
Minister.
Well, Deputy, I'm aware of the history of this, and a lot of this predates me, okay? Yeah. Let's be straight about it. The other piece there is that where it is found that anyone, and I'm talking in general now, just to be clear for the record of the House, has either misled the RTB in their intentions, or that the RTB have powers to investigate and to move forward and to prosecute. I will engage personally with Dunleary Rathdown again following this question that you've tabled. I know you've tabled questions back in May. We answered questions last December, to be fair, and you continue to advocate on behalf of these tenants. Local authorities from time to time, but in extremis, and it isn't done too often because there can be a moral hazard to have purchased homes with tenants in situ in extreme cases. It wouldn't be the norm. It wouldn't be the norm because you could have a situation where people would move ahead of others that are on the list, and what happens there. But I will personally engage with Dunleary Rathdown after the session today, and I will revert to you once I have a further update. But we are doing our best to acquire them.
Okay, can I just remind the Minister, this is a precedent which I put to Dunleary Rathdown County Council, and this business, people are skipping the queue. They're HAPS tenants, they're on the list, some of them are quite elderly, some of them have kids and are very vulnerable. They're well up the list, okay? And I think we should, and remember there's 13 empty apartments there that have been sitting there for 2 years empty when there's people crying out for places. The whole thing is an utter, utter scandal, right? So please don't let, if you like, bureaucratic box-ticking stuff get in the way of preventing these people being made homeless. They're being threatened with court action at the moment and told you'll be paying the costs if you don't get out, and they have nowhere to go. Okay, so I'm really pleading with you, Minister. Let's get around this. These people cannot be allowed to evict. Tenants who paid, even now they're paying their rent. They've never missed a rent. They've done absolutely nothing wrong. And the representatives of this vulture fund went to the RTB and said, we know this is ugly, but we're maximising the value of our assets. It's disgusting, Minister.
Thank you, Minister, to conclude.
Yeah, look, thanks, Deputy Boyd Barrett. Just to reiterate, I know it's a serious situation. It's a serious situation for those families that are there that are worried whether they'll have a home in a number of months' time. What I've said to you is that we have heretofore, and my direction, sought to buy those units, sought to lease those units. We'll go back at it again following your question and your representation here today. Once I have an update, I'll engage with you directly on that. I am open to using innovative methods to be able to house people. I think we've shown that in the first 18 months of what we intend to do. I'm very serious about providing permanent homes for our people. And that's what we're doing in this particular instance. I know it's serious. We are doing our best. I'll re-engage on it. And then I will revert to yourself with an update. And if we need to meet, which I'm sure we do, we can do so in the coming weeks on it, okay?
I appreciate that.